Hi everybody and welcome back to the tasting room. We're sampling today the Buffalo Trace White Dog Weeded Mash. So you may remember a couple of months ago I did another White Dog by Buffalo Trace here. That was their mash bill number 1. So Buffalo Trace, they have 3 mash bills they use to make bourbon. 2 of them with rye as a secondary grain. Their low rye is the bill 1, and then their high rye bill is bill number 2. And then they have a wheated mash bill that they'll use to make things like Pappy Van Winkle or Weller Antique, that 107, WL Weller. I think they do. I want to say they do 7 different wheated bourbons using this mash bill here. But all the bourbon that they do come from one of those 3 mash bills. Anyway, if you didn't see the previous video for Bill 1, what this White Dog is, it's their pure unaged spirit. So, they cook the grains, add the yeast, do all the fermenting, the distilling. This is what happened right before it goes into the barrel. This is what you get, and they decided to take a couple of their mash bills and bottle it. Used to be you could only get mash bill 1. This is I was walking through the local liquor store, pardon me, the other day, and I saw the wheated mash bill. So I was like, okay, great, I hadn't seen that before. So unlike bill 1, which was bottled at 125 proof, this one here it was proofed down to 114. So it's a rule for bourbon. You can't distill any higher than 160 proof, and you can't introduce to the barrel any higher than 125 proof. Just a couple of the many criteria you have to meet in order to call your spirit a bourbon. Anyway, this is neither a bourbon nor technically a whiskey because it's never come in contact with oak yet. So we're just going to call it the mash or the White Dog or the unaged spirit. White Lightning, you may have heard that term before. All the same stuff. It's just what you get before it goes into a charred white oak barrel and gets to be called a bourbon. So anyway, let's see what we got here with this one. Alright, so like that mash one, just to have a nice, crisp, clean grain aroma here. It's almost like cereal or a freshly baked baguette. It is actually very nice. Being an unaged spirit, I'd almost expect there to be a little bit more of that ethanol aroma, because that's essentially what this is. But I'm not getting that. It's just very, very clean. A nice aromatic grain. I like that a lot. Alright, so on the palate here, I still have that nice grain flavor here. A little bit of heat, not too much. Definitely, I want to say more mellow than that mash bill 1. And this is going to be thanks to the wheat as the secondary grain as opposed to the rye. And it's worth noting that so again, this is unaged here. Now a bourbon or a whiskey gets 60-70% of its flavor and all of its color from that barrel. So I mean, we're sampling this as is here. This is just a spirit. We're not expecting this to have, flavors of honey and vanilla and toasted oak, because that a lot of that comes from the barrel. Finishes relatively smoothly here for what it is, and it does have a fair amount of length to it. Still, all the way through, you have that flavor of that grain. Just very pleasant, you know. I mean, you can, you know, I'm not in the habit of drinking unaged spirits, you know, other than maybe a gin or something from time to time. But you know, this does have a lot of flavor, and it's good on its own. I would venture to say that this would be good on a cocktail. Probably anything that you would put a vodka in, you could probably sub with this and add a little bit of flavor. Me being more or less anti-vodka as a general rule of thumb. But yeah, no, give me a glass of this any day. So on the nose here, very light, very crisp. It's like a nice freshly baked bread type of aroma. Really didn't get any of that unpleasant alcohol smell. I'm going to go ahead and give the nose on this one 24 points. On the palate, again, that good flavor. You know, not a whole lot, you know, not a lot of heat for being something that's 114 proof. Just very nice, very mellow, very pleasant. I'm going to go ahead and give the taste 22.5 points. Finish, pretty smooth. Good length to it. You know, again, that same nice, consistent flavor all the way through. I'll give the finish 21.5 points. Then the overall balance I'm going to put at 23. And that's going to leave me with an overall score of 91 points for this Buffalo Trace White Dog Weeded Mash. So again, a nice score here. Just for it's a great base spirit, you know, and it just goes to show you. I mean, Buffalo Trace. I mean, they're solid. They know what they're doing here. I mean, if you put a whiskey or if you put a spirit in a barrel that's subpar, I mean, that's what you're going to get out of the barrel, you know, 6, 10, 12 years later. I mean, there's a reason that Buffalo Trace produces some of the most highly sought after whiskeys. The Weller 107, Pappy Van Winkle. Are you kidding? I mean, it's a good, solid base spirit. I mean, sure. I mean, it gets aged in an oak barrel, you know, in a certain place in a certain type of rick house, you know, and that's going to change the whiskey as it ages, you know. But at the end of the day, it comes down to one of those 3 mash bills. And if you don't get it right going in, you're not gonna get it right coming out of the barrel. So again, tip my hat to you there, Buffalo Trace. Thanks for a nice white dog here. And all you folks at home, thanks for watching. That's all the time I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up or leave a comment in the comment section down below. And then, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already a member. And then after you do, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button to make sure you get notifications of new videos that come out. I do have one come out every weekend, and I'd hate for you to miss one. So go ahead and do that for me, and I will see you again next week right here on The Tasting Room.